AI just made Amazon listings look better than ever. Yet, conversions are tanking, costs are rising, budgets are ballooning, and now you're having very uncomfortable discussions. How are brands with worse products outselling us? And yet the worst part, most brands don't even realize why. But once you understand what's actually changing on Amazon, you can adjust early and come out ahead with fewer expensive surprises. I'm Sean. I build Amazon growth systems for brands that care about margin, not just revenue. Like Reliable Labs, an OTC brand that had years of flat performance, we rebuilt the conversion structure first, then scaled what was already closing. Result, a 6.8x surge in 23 days without risky ad spend or new launches. And that's exactly the shift that most brands are missing right now. So let me go ahead and break down the 5 biggest shifts that are happening on Amazon right now and what to do about each one. Let's start with the shift that's costing more brands money right now. Shift number 1, the old PPC playbook is dying. Most brands are using the same old dusty playbook that was working back in 2015. Launch the listing, turn on ads, optimize the bids, hope numbers improve. But today, the numbers don't improve. And most of the time, the problem isn't the product. It's the answers. Here's what I mean. Your page has to answer 3 questions almost instantly. Will this work for my problem? Will it work for my unique situation? What actually improves after I buy this? If your page can't answer those questions fast, paid ads become a voluntary donation to Amazon. Because Amazon PPC is not a strategy, it's an amplifier. We saw this with Q screens. They were already investing in ads, but growth felt fragile. High CPCs, flat sales, no ROI. So instead of touching bids, we fixed the page first. And suddenly, PPC didn't just run, it scaled past $90,000 a month at a 5x ROAS. Because this wasn't a budget increase, this was an increase in capacity. So before you scale spend, ask one hard question. Is your page actually closing? Not whether you like it, not whether the branding team likes it, not whether it looks optimized. Is it closing? Here are the signals we watch. Unit session percentage growth, subscribe and save increases, new to brand sales. Improvements in those numbers buys you cheaper Amazon growth over time. And that leads to the second shift. Growth is stalling, even though everything looks like it's working. Listen, the best brands don't grow with one lever. Not just SEO, not just PPC, not just creative. They build one cohesive system where each layer strengthens the next. Now, if you hear layers and think that sounds like a lot, you're right. So don't start by doing everything at once. There's a progression here. Start narrow, then expand. So layer 1, pick your hero offer. Maybe for the first 40 days, you select one SKU or a select handful of SKUs that earn the right to scale. Then build product pages that do 3 things fast. Hook the pain or desire, make the transformation obvious, and handle the biggest objection before the shopper even scrolls. That's it. Then you move to layer number 2, expand without losing the plot. And this is where you widen coverage, but only in ways that match how people actually buy. So you expand into more keyword markets that match real intent, cleaner traffic segmentation, and stronger comparison control. Meaning when you pay for the click, your page answers any comparison question right there, instead of sending the shopper back to search for your top 5 competitors. Then layer number 3, scale without chaos. Once you've got a page that closes and a system that's working, now you rev up the engine. More SKUs, more markets, more audience coverage. But you do it without destroying margin or crippling your inventory. Because here's the truth. If your system can't be governed, it can't be scaled. And pro tip here, as you add layers, assign each one to a specific type of shopper intent. So, problem-aware shoppers need pain language. Comparison shoppers need sharp differentiation. Replenishment shoppers need frictionless value and continuity. When you do that well, your brand starts to feel like it's everywhere in the category, without spamming, without random acts of marketing. So, before we scale, we earn the right to scale. Now, quick side note before we go further, if you want something practical to apply immediately, we put together a free Amazon growth scorecard below. It shows you whether your listing is struggling because your pain hook isn't landing, your transformation isn't clear, your objections aren't handled, or your traffic is mismatched. 10 questions, 2 minutes, and you'll know whether you're ready to grow. Now, the third shift is something most brands never see because they're bringing retail thinking into a platform built for decisions. Yes, AI made it easier to cobble together clarity, clean fonts, nice icons, well-lit lifestyles, but it never hits the shopper's actual problem. Because while retail is built for browsing, Amazon is built for choosing. We saw this with David Taylor, same product, selling in the same category, but when we rebuilt his marketing to show resort-level experiences instead of just features, that $250 price suddenly felt justified. And that shift alone drove a fresh $1.4 million in under 6 months. So if you want to win right now, rebuild your product display page for sales conversion, not a brand mood board. And start to think about your image stack like a hook sequence. Image 1, call out the pain or desire fast. Image 2, make the transformation obvious. Image 3, explain why it works in plain language. Image 4 and beyond, handle those objections before they become a reason to back out. That's the job. And yes, video and UGC help, but not because they're modern, but because they make the decision easier. They show the experience, they show the use case, they show the before and after. In other words, they give the shopper clarity faster. Now let's shift to number 4 because sometimes growth isn't real. It's just borrowed momentum. And the brands winning on Amazon right now are building for durability, not for spikes. Here's what I mean. When you build a product page that consistently closes, you earn more stable rank, more durable visibility, and better economics, even when competition gets tougher. That's the shift. If all you're doing is chasing promo spikes or trendy tactics, you'll end up on a treadmill. So we don't want to chase algorithms. We build signals that the algorithm cannot ignore. We saw this when we helped Layla Luna. Sure, they had a spike, 1,139% in the first 3 months, but more importantly, we didn't let that growth collapse. It became a new multi-million-dollar baseline. And that's the difference between a tactic and a system. Now, shift number 5. This is the one that separates listings that actually resonate from all that AI-generated noise flooding Amazon right now. AI can write features. It can write generic benefits. It can say premium quality all day. But AI cannot poke at your buyer's real pain with precision. It cannot clearly express the transformation your product creates for this buyer in this moment. So if you want to stand out right now, you have to do what templates cannot. You have to resonate with real buyers. And here's what that looks like in practice. If your listing opens with premium ingredients or clinically studied, you are already in the AI bucket. Everyone is in that bucket right now, so you got to get out of there. Let's say you sell GLP-1 support supplements. The shopper's not thinking, which formula has the best label? They're thinking, why do I feel off? Why is my gut wrecked? Why can't I eat enough protein? Why is the scale moving, but I feel worse? That's the moat. Answer that in the first swipe. Pain, relief, transformation, and do it with real customer language, like you've been reading their group chat all week. Because it's not about prettier icons and it's not about shorter bullets. It's about naming the right problem with the right words and real pictures that they understand fast. We saw this with Cryo Concepts. We took them from offline to Amazon and drove $68,000 in 28 days, but then built a system that scaled to over $240,000 a month. And the unlock was not more Amazon tasks. It was matching the page to how people actually buy something that they put on their body. They need reassurance fast. They need experience explained. They need the decision to feel safe. So we built marketing that leads with the buyer's pain and desired relief, that shows the transformation clearly and answers the obvious objections early. If the pain isn't clear, then any price feels too high. If the transformation isn't obvious, the shopper defaults to, no thank you. Now, if you're running a 7, 8, or 9-figure brand and want help mapping the best sequence, quantifying the upside, and rebuilding the conversion argument so that you can scale without gambling your margin, apply for a channel audit below. And if you want to see exactly how this works with real brands, in this next video, I'll break down the full process for you step by step.